again, then yeah, you gotta favor Navi.
But somehow he gets it every time. How does he do it?
He's the only Batrider who maxes sticky napalm.
But it works.
It does work, but that's the thing,
crazy.
right? It's like the earlier levels of sticky napalm, I think it's like, what, 5% at level 1?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yeah, and then isn't it to 7?
It's like 7, 9, 11.
9, yeah.
So he has like level 3 sticky, and most other bats only have level 1. So yeah, per application, it doesn't seem like a lot, but you get stacked like 5-6 times. You're like, oh, I actually can't move anymore, and I just die.
And he just gets solo kills all the time. When he has like 3 stacks, that's when he starts charging in at the top lane, and he always finds a kill on the carry, no matter what. I just don't understand.
And somehow it seems every time that people underestimate that as well. It's like, okay, he's diving too early. We can actually do this.
They underestimate the napalm itself. I think that's why he ends up getting so many kills. Because a lot of the time you play against a hero of a specific skill build and you have a really good, like, not necessarily muscle memory, but you're just accustomed to how much damage it can do to you. And you're just like, oh, I'm fine. And then you're like, wait, I'm not fine. Oh god, I'm actually dead because I can't run away fast enough. And I think that's really what people fall for very often. Good ban though, coming in here from Empire, taking out the Lycan.
Lycan is very scary.
No, it's really solid. And to be honest, like banning the Night Stalker and the Void from Navi, I think actually helps Empire's draft, especially with the second pick Puck. Because Night Stalker is obviously amazing against Puck. And then you also have Void, who maybe you can put it as position 1, which I guess is what they're more scared of. But
yeah. Night Stalker is just good for those Batrider plays, right? You just take away the vision, and then it's really hard for the Batrider to initiate during the nighttime.
Yeah, that one makes much more sense.
Yeah, the Void ban, like, not the best synergy with Chrono. I mean, it's really nice for the setup, and then afterwards you can go in and make big plays, but then you'll still need another huge heavy damage dealer, like either the Clinks or the Gyro.
We have a draft full of signature heroes, by the way.
We do?
So Neko Aro, Archstyle Chen, General Bat, Scandal Puck, Miposhka Enchantress. I feel like both teams are getting what they want, right?
Yeah, they really are. So it's going to be more of a battle of who actually plays better and who knows what their draft is capable of and what the enemy team wants to do, which I think is the best kind of game. Because when both teams get what they want, it just means that they're both in their comfort zone, and then we're just going to see really high-level execution.
Yes,
and
all about the execution.
Yeah, which lineup just plays better or plays out better.
So I have a question for you now. Would you go TA or Wind Ranger right now? I mean, TA's kind of been...
They will definitely go Wind Ranger.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Wind Ranger, but I had to throw a new hero out there.
TA is way worse against Ench, and Wind Ranger at every stage in the game can just destroy Enchantress.
And Puck, too. I mean, you just blink in... And
Queen of Pain is not an
fasten
option,
your fingers.
Oh, Queen is definitely good too, but I think Wind Ranger is the more reliable hero of the two.
I think it's
because
more reliable.
They haven't seen the carry yet.
I guess it's good against Enchantress as well.
Yeah. The thing is, like, Wind Ranger is good pretty much against, like, anything that Empire can pick. Wind Ranger is still good against, in my opinion. So yeah, they're just gonna take it.
The only reason why I didn't bring up Queen of Pain in my discussion was because Queen of Pain versus Puck, it's very even, but I think Puck with Enchantress roaming can kill the Queen of Pain, and there's just not enough DPS, I want to say, and like Annie's talking about, just having that extra reliable lockdown is always going to be nice later into this game. And
the Morphling. Okay.
Talk to me about Ramses Morphling.
I love Morphling. And
is it indeed going to be Ramses Morphling, no afterlife, no offlane?
I think it's safe lane.
No
safe lane? Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Just to be sure.
The main thing about this in particular pick is that it is impossible for Bat to kill this hero in lane.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, mega impossible.
But it could cripple his farm, though.
If it makes
it could slow his farm.
It could slow his farm down.
The one thing about it, though, is obviously you need an actual silence to stop the morph. So even if you get shackled or whatever, you can morph. If you get lassoed, you know, it doesn't really matter. You can still survive. And it's 16 stat morph a second.
Silencer.
So here we go, boys. Silencer Dota. I love the pick, though. I think it's something that people have been underutilizing a lot. And I think a large majority of why we're starting to see Morphling picks again is just because of the fact that the pace of the game has slowed a little bit. You know, towers have more armor, they deal more damage. The games aren't ending quite as fast, and that lets Morphling get to his second item, maybe even his third item. And that pace is the exact kind of pace that you want to be playing if you're a Morphling. You don't want the game to end in 25 minutes, which a lot of times we were seeing before 6.87 came out.
Yeah, as you're talking about, that's why I love Navi's lineup a little bit more right now, is because I think they're going to be able to put the pressure on constantly with Chin. IO relocates, you have Batrider too. We know General's going to have a nice time in the offlane. They're going to be able to tempo control, and I'm very worried for their D push. Like, you have Enchantress, you have Vince. Like, your only D push is the Puck. Now if you've got a frontline tank with the Bristleback, that's interesting. I think actually Legion Commander could be a good hero for Navi. I'm not even joking, because
No, it's going to be the Mirana.
Dang it.
They always do this against Ench,
It might have been banned. We don't
like,
see that. We couldn't see the last ban, so who knows?
I think they do this almost every single game against Enchantress. Is they pick
the
Wind Ranger and Mirana every single time.
They love that hero with it. It's good synergy.
Yeah, and I mean it's actually even good against Bristleback because sure, you know, you're going to build like your Vanguard or whatever, but they're just going to get double Maelstrom, and then your Vanguard's going to be like whatever. You know,
Wind Ranger is, I think, one of the best heroes in the later game stages. When you have Daedalus plus Ags plus Blink, you can basically solo kill a lot of heroes. Yeah. Like that's why she can be one
Morphling,
of the
interestingly enough, is one of the only heroes that you can't do that to if you go traditional carry build, because you can't Shackle and Focus Fire. One of the spells has to be eaten.
You have to tell me who you favor.
Oh God.
Yeah, because you said the draft would make it clear for you.
I will make it known that I like Empire's draft more.
Okay.
I think Na'Vi will win this.
Nice. We're going to keep it split here on the panel. It is time for the game between Na'Vi and Empire, and the winner will move on to the winner's bracket in the main bracket tomorrow. Well, the loser will still have to play through the loser bracket here in Group A. Over to AC and Gods for the game.
Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. Welcome into WePlay Season 3. I'm AC, joined by Gods to my right. And we've got a treat, my friend. It's a CIS showdown, and we were reminiscing even while we were watching the draft of a time back not that long ago, feels like ages ago, but only a year or two ago, when watching Na'Vi and Empire square off at a LAN of this magnitude, $200,000 on the line, and whenever you think back to 2012 days, that was especially massive. But now we get a chance to actually see these two teams square off, and we get to watch it, you know, like they were saying during the draft. There's going to be signature heroes on both sides. But as much or more than anything, I'm just as excited to see this patch continue to play out. Our first game casting together on this patch, and I'll tell you what, man, we get to figure things out a little bit along with everyone else.
Yeah, and we get to see already one of the new cool changes come into play. The Mirana pick in a carry role. This year got a new Aghanim Scepter upgrade where the Starstorm's coming down continuously just by itself as a passive. And whether Na'Vi thinks this is something that's going to be really strong or they're experimenting, we're kind of going to find out, because this is something I've heard lots of people theory craft, like, oh, maybe you do as a support Mirana, but not as a core. But it looks like Na'Vi picking it as a safe.
Taking a bit of damage, two heroes up on the high ground, and he's going to get stunned out. He may be our first blood, able to wind run away, gets the rune. If he survives, don't think he will, and he won't. It's going to be Mipaska taking our first blood. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. I'm not sure that I've ever actually tried to pronounce his name. Now they're going to follow it up. Seneko in trouble, and Scandal's going to go for another one. Let's see if he'll get it with the orb. He will. And Scandal and Empire off to a phenomenal start, as it's now 2-1.
Whoa, okay. So Dendi did eat one of his branches. Not too big a deal as far as how his mid lane's going to go, but making sure he secures a banner rune. The banner rune's no longer quite as important for the mid lane because you don't get the experience, which is halfway to your level 2. So we'll see this 1v1 between Scandal and Dendi, and I think Scandal perhaps with a bit of an edge after that level 1 fight.
So taking a look at the way the rest of the lanes are shaping up, a little bit of action early on, so we can get a chance to run through them. For Na'Vi, it will be Seneko playing on the IO, which is going to be handled by Artstyle, already making his way up to the top lane. Wind Ranger played by Dendi, and now Dendi and Scandal going back and forth quite a bit. Windrun buying Dendi some time, Scandal taking a fair amount of damage. Looks like he wanted to think about heading deep to try to make something happen, but not the case. In the meantime, let's take a look at Artstyle up at top, beginning to poke his nose around just a little bit.
And Dendi, I mean, he's out of regen. This mid lane just suddenly goes really poorly for him when he runs out of regen. The Puck had a salve still left, and Puck is most of the way to his bottle, while Dendi's sitting on below 200 gold. So pretty disastrous start for Dendi here in the mid lane, despite him having more CS than the Puck. All of that gold has just gone into buying extra regen for himself.
Down at bottom lane, Afterlife for Empire. Looks like he should. Did we up at top? Yeah, we do have an engagement. It will be Empire. Trading blows now.
Mid, Dendi.
Up, hang on. Mipaska has made his way up as well. Artstyle in trouble. Going to end up trading 1-for-1. And in the meantime, in mid, as you had said, the gank attempt up top going quite well. So it's going to be 3-4 now as Empire able to maintain a lead, but a lot of blood on the soil, man. 2 minutes in, 7 kills. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Complete bloodbath here. And the really important kill to me, and out of that, the top lane is like nice rotations coming out from the junglers, but Dendi getting a kill back to his name over Scandal really helps even things up in a lane that he was not doing well in. So Seniko, I think, recognizing that this mid lane was going very poorly, makes the rotation in. Dendi baits it really nicely, because if Scandal sees the IO, he's not going to get played. He's not going to get played and killed off like that. But Dendi almost lures him in before he goes for the kill.
Taking a look at CS, the Wind Ranger, despite Dindy's problems, is atop, sitting 13-4 for the moment. 10-3 for the Puck, so not bad there, as expected. But again, the big winner in the Afterlife, if he can make it away with his own life. He's taking a lot of damage, going to go ahead and try to heal himself as he just barely squeaks by about 50 HP, gets him back to safety. And given how much free reign he's had in that bottom lane, quite a big deal. In the meantime, looks like Pasca in trouble again, and that's going to be a kill for the Bad Rider. General able to make it 2 kills to his name this early on.
Yeah, something the panel kind of talked about is just General's ability to find these kills as a Bat Rider in the offlane, and he's already got 2 to his name now. Solo kill on a jungler, and this is looking to shape up to be a very good laning stage for Na'Vi. All 3 of their core heroes getting some CS, some farm. The Bat Rider just with 7, but he makes up for it with a kill hero there, and already level 4.5, so all of Na'Vi's lanes looking pretty good right now.
Oh yeah, completely agree, and you can see he's got 2 points in the sticky napalm, so definitely going in the direction the panel pointed out, which is prioritizing that ability above everything else. In the meantime, mid continues to be a slugfest. Saw Scandal get brought down to about a quarter health at one point. In the meantime, down in the jungle, Afterlife's got eyes on Seneko, trying to chase him, do some damage. He's going to dive. Oh, he looked like he wanted to dive it, thought better of himself and go back. In the meantime, here comes Art Style along the edge, and he's going to try to cut him off on the retreat. He'll find him. There's a stomp to follow, and that's going to be a nice kill for Na'Vi. They take the lead 5-4 now on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Afterlife has just been kind of pushing his luck a bit in this offlane, and when it's been 2 heroes, he's gotten away with it. This new Windlace item pickup, this kind of poor man's boots, or I mean, it goes with his boots as well, the movement speed stacking there, giving that little extra bit of mobility just to play around with the dual lane at bottom, make it so that it's very hard to hit him with an arrow, and this time around, though, he does get dealt with. Mid lane Scandal gets caught up by a shackle shot, and get very low.
He's going to have Art Style there just to help secure the kill. It's going to be Seneko that gets the kill there. It's actually a nice kill for him to be a part of. He's up to level 4 as well. He's 3-1, man. Yep.
And this comes out of Dendi's skill build. He goes for 3 points in shackle shot. Normally, you think Wind Ranger mid, you max your power shot, you spam at the lane, you go for just the farming build, but I see Dendi do this time and time again. He prefers to level up shackle shot when he's against heroes like Puck, like Queen of Pain, because it gives you that extra lockdown to make those rotations successful. A jungle like Chenna Enchantress can come to his lane, and with a shackle shot, you found yourself a kill.
5 minutes in, a lot of action all across the board. Let's talk a little bit about the interplay between Enchantress and Chen here. Both underwent some changes, slight impetus, nerfs for the Enchantress. Chen no longer able to heal his creeps up in the newer patch, so relatively small things. Enchantress still first pick material, as we see in this game and in others. But talk to me about how you expect that matchup to play out in each stage of the game.
Normally in the early first 5 to 6 minutes, you see Enchantress a lot more active, which is actually not what we've seen, and that comes down to General finding the pickoff. So if anything, Na'Vi are very happy with how the matchup has worked out, because Enchantress hasn't found that edge in the early game laning stage. We'll see if that can change now with Miposhka's presence here in mid, but Chen comes online in the mid game when he's got the Hand of God plus the mech. That dual burst heal for his team means you can just 5v5, group up, take towers really effectively.
There's going to be a coil on the Dindy, going to try to wind run, staying right in the range. Clap there, the Hellbear Smasher, giving him a round of applause on his way out the door. So a very well-timed gank out of Empire, and we'll see what they want to try to do with it now.
Doesn't look like they're going to go for this mid tier 1 tower. They're going to rotate a lot of heroes towards the top lane instead, and this wraparound could catch General by surprise. He's got Firefly, so he is a very hard pickup to kill over in these trees.
Yeah, right along the ridge line there. And it looks like, yeah, I was going to say, are they just going to try to pressure this tower? It's already down. It hasn't been chipped away at that much. And it looks like they're just going to abandon it now. Miposhka making his way elsewhere.
Yeah, and it looks like they're just going to go back to kind of secure their lanes a bit more. Miposhka can fall back in jungle, and Enchantress is a hero that's still not as strong as like a late game carry, but we saw Artstar, what he did in Na'Vi's opening game. This hero still packs a punch, even with the nerfs to the impetus damage coming into play. So very much Miposhka wants to kind of play as that core hero for his team as well, and kind of be that 4 position with a lot of farm.
Bouncing around. From the take a look at itemization so far, everyone getting up their items slowly but surely. 1,400 gold is already packed away by General, so he's making excellent progress towards his Blink Dagger. And Dityaron down at bottom is continuing to farm away on the Mirana. Not super far. That's a lie, actually. I was going to say not super far, but right on par there with the Wind Ranger. I'd say the big winner right now is going to be Artstyles Chen. He's very farmed for his level, sitting at 39 CS. Already has up his Arcanes and level 6.
And he's done this while rotating around as well.
And General playing aggressive. He's surrounded by a lot of enemies now. There's going to be a shackle attempt on Dindy. Did not find it. And finally, Empire able to corral General, using the coil easy kill as he just way overstayed his welcome. It looks like in the meantime they managed to bring down the Bristleback at bottom as well, so continuing to just go blow for blow, man. 2 bloody noses on both sides.
Oh, Empire making a nice rotation to protect Scandal's mid, but Na'Vi strike back at bottom. Really curious to see if Dityaron is going to go right into the Aghanim Scepter. Has 1,200 gold, could pick up a point booster now if he wants to.
Sadeko trying to tether up, does make it to the high ground using his own illusions, so very clever use of those illusions to get himself away. And Chen, in the meantime, there's another kill in mid.
Another Dendy Shackle. You've got double Satyrs. They have a reduced mana pool now in the new patch, but they still pack a big punch when you throw out those shockwaves. The damage has not been touched, and this is quickly turning into a rough game for Scandal. The first 2 or 3 minutes, he had the edge over Dendy, but all it's taken is multiple successful art style rotations, and suddenly it's Scandal who is 2 and 3, a long way away from any sort of a Blink Dagger. And when Batride's going to hit speaking of Batride, he's going on top.
Up the top, trying to chase down Ramsey, is unable to catch up with him.
Yeah, but Batride's Blink is going to come online much earlier than Puck's, which kind of lets Na'Vi control the tempo of the game. They're the ones who's going to have that initiator who can go around, look for the pickoffs, whereas Empire are going to have to kind of slow things down while they wait for Puck's Blink to come up.
Down at bottom, talk to me about this Bristleback pick. Like, you look around at Empire, I mean, the Morphling kind of explains itself. You've got good roam, you've got good initiation with Puck. Where do you see this Bristleback really fitting into things? And I do like seeing the Bristle, by the way, up, hang on. He's going to be fitting into a body bag, if that arrow had connected anyway, instead able to make his way away. I was just going to say, using the infused raindrops to give him that early tankiness, even beyond what the hero's normal capabilities are. But that aside, how do you think he's going to really fit into the fights and the way they're going to try to take this mid game?
He's a good frontliner for Team Empire who can just kind of run in and just be tanky. He needs to have a good start though, and that's where I feel like the couple of deaths he's received, and when you're buying items like those infused raindrops, yeah, they keep you alive, but it's a gold investment for an item that you're going to end up losing. So I'm a little bit worried for Afterlife and how he's going to fit in because he needs to get farm on this Bristleback to be effective. But there's so many new item changes that make Bristleback a better pick. You've got the raindrops, as we saw. The Windlace makes it nicer.
He's playing so aggressive on top of Scandal. Saneko right there with him. Can they bring him down? Phase shift, able to make it out. But in the meantime, Puck, oh, they actually did get it.
Dandy just chasing him down. Mitposhka's in all sorts of trouble as well.
Yep, hanging around. Able to make it back, but it's mid-tier 1 now likely to drop as Artstyles got a menagerie with him and ready to push with it. Afterlife's made his way over, trying to be that frontliner as you mentioned, but he's taking a lot of damage. Tanky as he felt down in that bottom lane, just not the case. And now King R in some trouble. Will they decide to follow him out? No, the Satyr through the shockwave. Dindy, power shot. No, guessed wrong.
So, I mean, if you're Empire, you're saying this is meant to be space for Morphling to be farming, but Morphling actually got bullied out of the top lane by General while that was going on. General getting very close to a kill, so Na'Vi are kind of winning the fights in the bottom of the mid lane while at least not allowing Morphling to completely free farm. Both Mirana and Wind Ranger are both higher net worth than the Morphling, and once towers start falling, which with Na'Vi's draft, you've got the Chen, Mech is 500, 600 gold away, they've got Hand of God, towers will start to fall and Na'Vi's lead will increase.
Well, it doesn't have to increase too much further, man. They've got 4 of the top 5 farmed heroes, at least in terms of net worth already. The Mirana really beginning to pile it on. Just 0-0 and 1. Relatively quiet early game at 71 CS and 11 minutes, nothing to shake a stick at. And able to just continue to farm up using the Sacred Arrow, bring down big creeps and so on and so on. Do see Ramsey showing his face down here in bottom a little bit. If you're in Empire shoes, I mean, this game is anything but out of reach. You know, you're just 1 or 2 big fights away. What's going to be the plan here? I mean, like, what are your priorities, say, over the next 10 minutes?
Well, they've just finished farming up the Ancients for Afterlife, so pick up his Vanguard, which gives him that really core item to just take fights. So going for a smoke with the Vanguard, they can't wait for the Puck Blink, I feel. The Puck Blink is going to take quite some time, even with him sitting on 1,400 gold right now. Scandal, he needs to be the kind of initiator to sit behind the Bristleback. So I think going through some of their smokes, taking the fight to Na'Vi, not letting Na'Vi fight around their cooldowns.
Oh no, missed by General. Went for the lasso, and I didn't see what it was, but it was a creeper, an illusion, or what it was. Either way, it was wrong. They will get King R for free, though. Just in bad position as Na'Vi all piled down to bottom. In the meantime, Scandal, as you said, I mean, right now about 500, 600 gold away from his blink. Finally, the Vanguard's going to come out, but just in time, the Mirana, Dit Yara, bringing out his Maelstrom. So his the combat potential on both sides is there for sure. I mean, their core items are probably, as you mentioned, the only one really missing seems to be Scandal's blink. But once that's out, it feels to me anyway, and correct me if I'm wrong, like it's kind of anyone's game.
Yeah, for Empire, they can't be quite as aggressive as Na'Vi because this Morphling as a pick is this carrier that needs an item or normally 2 items before he comes online and can fight.
Trying to get Scandal, arrows off the mark. They relocated the top lane. Now Scandal going to go ahead and run. Damage not there. It was close, but not quite.
Got down to about 50 HP in the fountain there.
Yep. Relocate was a little late there as well. General engage showed his face, went in, didn't have the lasso, but either way, able to make it away safely to the bottom. Yep, there's going to be a swap. Vin swaps out Dit Yara, but now they're going to follow it out. Seneko healed up, and Mirana ulti going to try to keep him alive, and it should be enough to do so. They're going to decide to go ahead and force Empire back. Let's see, or pull Empire back. Let's see if they want to try to follow it up. Dindy's under cover of that Mirana ulti. And I'm just going to go ahead and clear it out.
And for Na'Vi, I think what they've been waiting for the last few minutes is probably just General's lasso to come back up, because with the next lasso, they can smoke up, and Tier 1 tower already taken in both bottom as well as mid lane, so Na'Vi can either start working on the Tier 2s, which are a bit harder to push now with some of with the defensive armor aura for allies around it, but they can take the top tower, they can look to contest Roshan. Na'Vi get a whole lot stronger now with lasso up and the mech advantage, which is something Empire just don't have, nor will they have anytime soon.
Just short of 15 minutes in. Taking a look at the gold graph, we can see it is a considerable lead in both gold and XP for Na'Vi. But again, the blink coming out basically after one more camp, and this is really the big item. Scandal, very competent puck player, and there it is. Just went in and grabbed it.
I'm just feeling like the Empire side don't have the best follow-up burst damage to a puck blink initiation. Like Enchantress can be there with an Impetus, but it's not reliable follow-up damage, and outside of that, there's not really a whole lot until Morphling gets farmed.
Yep.
Like a Lincoln's Ethereal Blade type build, or even just a Lincoln's into damage, like some kind of DPS item to allow him to waveform in and just start right-clicking away. Puck right now is pretty much alone when he initiates, and that to me is kind of the big weakness of Empire's draft at this stage of the game. And it mostly goes back to the fact that they didn't have the best start. Looking at the net worth chart, 5 of the top 7 are all Na'Vi heroes. Even their supports are farmed, and this is probably one of the biggest shifts in this current patch, is that it's just support quality of life. It's so much easier to be a support. All your support items you've got to get are cheaper. They made wards cheaper, TPs, and it's a lot easier to get like XP with the new tomb. So there's so many little things that have made playing support just a little bit easier to kind of keep up in terms of farming levels.
Empire trying to counterpunch a little bit of their own. They're going to push down this top tier 2. No one over there to contest quite yet. But
Arrow on mid, they've got Afterlife.
Free kill. Na'Vi now doubling up Empire in terms of kills scored. We'll see if they're going to get an objective out of it. There is a glyph up on Empire's side if they want to try to rotate out. Here come TPs in from Na'Vi. A lot of them. And Empire able to go ahead and spread. Here's going to be the relocate, and they're going to decide to go ahead and go in. There's going to be the coil that goes down, catches a couple. In the meantime, Hand of God going to get everyone back in the fighting shape. Down goes Dindy, and it's going to be a 2-for-1 thus far. Let's see if they're going to get Seneko as well. Nope. Able to relocate. And Digiraw in trouble, will be chased down. So King R looks like he's going to end up dropping, but now it's just Artstyle still standing. But General re-engaging as well. That's a double kill for Artstyle. Make it a triple kill for the Chen. So like you said, support quality of life, my friend. This Chen getting work done. That's 5-1-7 on Artstyle so far this game. Just looking so good.
He didn't even have his creep army for that almost the entire fight. He tried to bring it with him when he TP'd using the Test of Faith, but unfortunately the TP was an extended duration TP because of his allies TPing in before him. So it actually didn't work. The Test of Faith triggered before his TP went, so the creeps didn't come to the fight. But even so, Artstyle just cleans up. His creeps arrive a bit later, has a great time, and Empire just did not have the firepower to kind of sustain themselves in that fight. I really like the call from Na'Vi to not... They could have traded Tier 2 tower for Tier 2, but they're like, why trade towers when we have a teamfight opportunity? Navi's teamfight is just that much stronger, even when they're not in position to defend the tower. They can TP in one by one, and they're just so far ahead that it doesn't matter.
Na'Vi right now feeling nigh unkillable. Even when they're killed, they're able to just counterpunch so effectively. And mech up on the chin. I mean, this kind of comes down to what you were talking about earlier, David, which is, you know, Empire, they have the puck initiation. Courier actually taking a lot of damage. That Courier almost died to a creep wave in mid, by the way. Very nearly died on the for Empire. But anyway, in the meantime, Na'Vi decides to head on into the Roche pit. While we're watching that, I'm waiting to see if there's going to be anyone contesting from Empire. Empire just seems like they have a team that wants to slug it out and has to grind their damage out, not very bursty. And I don't know the Na'Vi's going to mind with a Chen and a Mecha. Like, they're willing to fight that way out.
And when you're doing damage over time, that's where that's where you're going to get more value out of your heals. The mech and the Hand of God, you're slowly chipping away. The damage is being spread around as well. You need burst damage if you want to kill heroes when you're versing a Chen, as well as an Io. They've got a huge sustain coming out from 2 different heroes here. Empire needs some answers in just the damage output department.
Did Jirah let the arrow fly? Only found the replicate, though. Na'Vi chasing them all the way back, so Empire showing much more so than Na'Vi. They didn't want to fight. Na'Vi contesting just enough in the Roche pit to clear out that pit. But they were actually willing to go high ground here and take the step out of the river. In the meantime, he's going up in engagement from Scandal. Immediately the Mirana ult's going to be there. There's a 2-man coil, though, but no follow-up. They seem really hesitant. Very nice Shackle, grabbing Afterlife and King R. There's going to be a follow-up with the Bat and the rest of the team. That makes it a double kill for Dindy. Now the leap forward. Power shot catches Ramses on the way out, but it's not going to be followed. Doesn't matter, though, as Dindy getting the work done that he need to get done. General's not done, though, as he uses the Flame Break to knock him down. The regen from Enchantress, legendary, we know. But is it enough? Oh, another Shackle. Cash in the bank, says Dindy, as he makes it a double kill again. Dominating streak for him. Empire now being more than doubled up. Mid-tier 2 gonna be the price they pay. And I would say Dindy in particular, but he and his teammates all have this one under control.
They just have so many defensive options for when in a team fight or when Empire go on them. We saw there, initially it was the Moonlight Shadow from Mirana, which completely ruined Empire's Dream Call initiation. The Sentry from Venge came too late, just because Venge is always sitting back wanting to position as far away as possible to save someone with a swap. But what happened as a result was that they had no detection. Then Venge runs in, not to mention, on top of that, you've got Falstaff. You had the raindrops on Io as well as Dendy's Wind Ranger. All these heroes are just buying this infused raindrop item, and we already talk about Empire struggling to burst heroes down. Well, it gets even harder now because of these infused raindrops. Na'Vi are just looking unkillable in every single teamfight engagement.
Empire going to challenge this. They put Afterlife out front. He's eating so much damage, though. He's not even going to make it back to his base. In the meantime, there's a lasso now on the King R. We see Mipashka sent running. Another double kill for Dindy, as he's double fisting them at this point. And Mipashka tracked down General's there. Waveform from Ramses. General now left a little bit alone, but no. Sadeko and Dijira re-engage. You will be able to track the Bat down, but not before they lose one right behind it. Ramses chased to his own high ground. Sacred Arrow on point, trying to morph that strength. Lincoln's will be popped. Let's see if they want to continue to chase this. He's going to head into his own jungle. Io trying to get some vision, trying to keep eyes on him, and Dityara and company going to go ahead and bend it backwards. That's 9-3-5 now on Dindy. And, I mean, at 22-9, pretty much everyone's box score is going to look that way. More importantly, though, things have not changed. 5 of the top 7 heroes in terms of farm, all led by Na'Vi, and they're going to go get a Roche while they're at it.
Yeah, and when support heroes are this farmed at this early on in the game, you've suddenly got an Io who, typically you're engaging into Na'Vi's draft and you're thinking, okay, we want to kill off the Io so he doesn't save his teammates and provide that overcharge sustain throughout the fight.
Luck.
But this is a 1200 HP Io with raindrops to block a ton of the magic damage output. Not easy. Similar story with the Chen. You've got 1200 HP, you've got the mech, you've got the Hand of God, and I believe an Aghanim Scepter, yeah, it's just one component away. So 500 gold for now. Artcell's got an Aghanim Scepter. He can pick up a Granite Golem to boost up everyone's hit points even further. And Empire, their kill power is just not there.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, your biggest sources of damage, well, I would say all three biggest sources of damage outside of the puck initiation. You got one guy who just wants to run in circles and right-click you while you attack his back, preferably. One is a potential late-game monster, but who, as of right now, is sitting on nothing but Lincolns and a yard sale of items. And now they're going to track down General. This would be a nice kill if they can get it. He does not have Firefly. They may be able to get it. Yep, there's going to be the swap just to make sure he can't TP away. So at least one thing going right for Empire.
Yeah, they make a bit of an unpredictable rotation. King R just solo roaming towards top lane with Morphling farming it, so... If Na'Vi had more information, they can probably relocate, counter-gank that, but they just see the entire Empire team was missing from the map, so they're not going to make any kind of risky move to try and turn it around.
Top lane, still continuing to push there a little bit, is Ditcheron company.
Didn't see any of the new pickups on Mirana. No Aghanim Scepter yet, but has gone for what is an old item. Dragonlance has been changed.
Dindy engaging at top. Doing work on King R, not scared at all. There's even the Sacred Arrow to follow it up from Ditcheron. Called it right that time. But, yeah, I mean, and I'm sure, you ever just get into these games, man, where there's just that Beast Mirana, like, that it just chews your face off. You know what I mean? Like that one, you want to tell yourself it's a Smurf, but the truth is you just fed the Wind Ranger way too much.
And that's what it feels like with Dendy right now.
Yeah,
He's just doing whatever he wants. And this Shadow Blade, giving him these initiations, he's going to find Miposhka again. Yep. Doesn't have Focus Fire, though, so not sure he gets this kill. Yeah, without Focus Fire, that's unfortunately not a kill he can take.
And Mirana now finishing up her Mjolnir. And the core items, put it mildly, they're doing well on the side. If you're Empire, you know what you're good at. You know what you can do, in theory anyway. What's your approach? Like, there's always the obvious answer, which is gank a bunch, don't die, take objectives. Yeah, that's always the way to win. But in specific, given the itemization of Na'Vi and how far ahead they are, given their forms of damage, what's the overall game plan in trying to get this turned around?
I think you have to turtle up. You've got to just sit in your bunker, wait for Na'Vi to come to you. You can't be getting aggressive. Any kind of a team fight is going to go horrifically badly for you. So you've got to just sit back, take what farm you can on the map. They bought a gem on Puck, which I really like because it can deny vision from Na'Vi, which makes it a lot easier to farm the map in general. Just if you can make sure Na'Vi don't know where you are, your jungle becomes a whole lot safer. So they're going to look to try and negate some of Na'Vi's map vision and then just turtle up, get those late game items. Farm a BKB on Bristleback. Farm 2, 3, 4 big items on Morphling.
Oh, Scandal. Jaunted Forge gives the gem up immediately. Oh, no. Dindy was just on point with it, and it wasn't even close. In the meantime, they're going to go ahead and relocate into mid. Seneko gets himself another kill, and Na'Vi just continue to be on the warpath. Dindy's not done chasing Afterlife. Let's see how deep he wants to go with this. Bending all the way into his jungle now. The Morphling, Ramses, is going to be heading that way. Dindy putting that Shadow Blade to good use over and over and over again. He is still chasing him, still on his tail.
He needs a tree or a creep, but nothing there. Well, I talked about Empire turtling up. They were just kind of moving out of the map to try to get some vision, and it's the Dendy Shadow Blade that's just being used for these initiations, and there goes your map presence. There goes your ability to deal with the Shadow Blade now that Puck's lost it, and life's going to get very difficult for Empire, who will lose their last out of tower, probably lose control of any ability to contest the next Roshan, and we may even see Na'Vi just go high ground with the Aegis expiring shortly. It's got 30 seconds left on it, and I don't even think Na'Vi care too much about that just because of how much stronger they are right now.
So to point out Seneko, drums, urn, bottle, and he just picked up a Vlad sitting back in the base. So you want to talk about a tanky, hard-to-kill IO. This is about as tough to kill an IO as I think I've ever seen. And he picked up the free gem, bought for him, and fed to it by Scandal.
Well, Scandal's net worth takes a dip, and not a whole lot. I mean, Empire, it's really all in on the Morphling now. Morphling is the late game carry here. There is no comparable hero on the side of Na'Vi. It's a hero that can split push, it's got great mobility, it scales great with items, so they've got to just go all in on getting Ramses not just another item or two. He needs to get 5, 6 items before Empire have a chance to win this game. So if Empire can hold on out till then, they've got a chance. But holding out against a 5-man push with Chen, Aghanim Scepter, and it doesn't even have to happen now. And Na'Vi can wait for the next Roshan if they want to. They're not under a huge amount of pressure until it gets to like 40+ minutes in this game.
Yeah, like you said, man, we're 27 minutes in, and it feels like even if you were, you know, looks like Ramsey's got about 1,000 gold before he finishes his Manta style up. Hang on, relocate up to top. They're going to try to chase down King R. There's a swap, not going to matter. A couple auto attacks to do. In the meantime, there's going to be a lasso in mid. They manage to find Scandal. That's a decent little pick. So that's going to be 2 down. Godlike streak for Dindy. And I don't even know what you do with your Empire. Like, I mean, if we were to miracle a Manta and a Scotty and a Morphling's inventory right now, I don't even know that it would matter. Yeah.
I totally agree. It really comes down to a maxed out Morphling, not a 3 or 4 slotted Morphling.
Here we go. There's going to be that's a really, really nice coil. The follow-up, is, as we have been talking about, isn't there. Ramses has to more pure full strength. It doesn't matter. They're going to be able to out-damage the Morph. Afterlife comes back in off the buyback. In the meantime, Pashka next to drop. Afterlife at this point, basically just a melee creep. Running around trying to get something done. Scandal will be brought. Oh no, he's able to jump away just barely. No, they got him with the proc on the Mjolnir. And there's going to be the swap. They're just basically do-si-doing to see who's going to die next at this point. Buybacks across the board, exhausted. Or about to be, if not already. And up here we go. Afterlife back in. Everyone on Na'Vi feels like they're sitting on no health, but they're just so tanky. Afterlife on the bristleback, basically feeling like he's just a support. As he's sent running once again, this is going to be mid lane racks down easily. And Na'Vi just about ready to close this one out, I think.
Yeah. Navi's sustain there was just ridiculous. The Chen gets off multiple heals in the fight. The Guardian Greaves, that 40-second cooldown, come into play as well. So Nico somehow, you mentioned everyone on sliver HP, he got down as low as like 20 HP in that fight and still survives and keeps earning himself and teammates up.
Ramses may as well, at this point, just leave his health morph on. They do manage to find Dindy. That's going to be a load of gold, 1,200 gold. Goes in the Morphling, so if there's any bright spot, we just saw it for Empire. As, yes, they lose a lot, but the one kill they did get was as valuable as killing just about the other 4 at any point.
They'll get to Nico as well on the relocate. Well, will they? Tether? That's a... What? That tether range.
That impetus,
with the Blink Force. That was like a 3,000, 4,000 range tether with the Blink Force from Batrider. Really nicely played and coordinated coming out from Na'Vi.
Well, Na'Vi, 34-12. I think they're doing okay. Tome of Knowledge, there you go. Just pour it on art style. I'm so
Getting closer to that level 16, I guess.
What is this game, dude? I'm not saying. I'm not being negative. I'm just like, I honestly don't even know half the things that are things right now.
I mean, half the time when I see something come up and I'm like explaining like, oh, this is what this new item or new spell does. It's like to remind myself.
Right.
I feel like I'm casting a different game when a new patch comes out.
Yeah. Instead of making declarative statements, everything ends with a question mark. But Na'Vi, again, just taking their time. And another tome picked up by Art Style. No big, it's fine. We pay for experience now. We Doto.
Io actually bought a Soul Booster, which is probably going to build in towards a Bloodstone. The Bloodstone received a pretty big buff. You instantly get 12 charges on purchase instead of 8.
I just wish you'd have gotten a Sheevis, though.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you look at Empire. You already have so much damage negation for their draft. You throw Shivas as well. You're going to negate it even further.
Yeah, I mean, just like in terms of their 2 big damage dealers or 3 big damage dealers, they're all melee or pseudo melee. Pashka down for free. Actually, yeah. I mean, the Enchantress, like, she's so easy to track down now. I mean, obviously just catching her out there, but it just feels like Na'Vi has every tool in the book. They need to find her and kill her and not let her do damage from distance, like she wants to. Raw going to be caught, swapped in mid, follow up with the magic missile. Still so tanky, and now General gets involved. And he's going to try to chase them down. He's getting a fair amount of damage. There's going to be a coil, so maybe overstepping himself a little bit, but the damage is certainly there for Na'Vi as well. As they're going to work now, bringing down Afterlife without a whole lot of muss or fuss. Dindy still doing massive.
Oh, Scandal managed to sneak back and grab the gem. Oh, sneaky, sneaky play. He dropped his TP, found the gem, and he comes back, actually leaves his bottle behind, but at this point, securing that gem for yourself, a hugely important thing to have against the win range is Silver Edge. And this Silver Edge is actually making this Bristleback just look like paper when you're able to break his passive and then just burst him down.
Yep. Excellent, excellent.
it's still like you're in a terrible position for Empire. That gem save is like.
Yep. I do like the Scotty pickup on the Mirana. Plays into what we were talking about. The two big damage healers outside of right-click damage healers outside of the Enchantress. It's nice to be able to slow them, nice to be able to hinder them that way. Attack slows over there. There's only so much you can say. Aegis probably needs win.
Yeah, it looks like that way. I mean, you've got a 25,000 net worth advantage. There's no sugarcoating this right now. Empire's ability to win this game is no longer in their hands. It's entirely on Na'Vi to be over-aggressive, completely just fudge the push, which Na'Vi have shown great discipline over the past few months when going for these high ground sieges. And they have plenty of room for error here. If they want to, they can just play things in a kind of sloppy fashion because of the item and level advantage they've got.
General trying to find himself a target. Seneko just doing work for, not Seneko, Nichirov. Just doing work from the low ground. Seneko there right beside him on the IO. Tier 3 taken ostensibly for free. And yeah, I mean, they got to go in at some point. Down, we can see they're trying to base race in mid, back on the other side, but I'm pretty sure Na'Vi doesn't care. There's no way they're going to out-damage them.
Yeah, Na'Vi can go for the throne if they want, but they don't want... Ooh, last one mid.
Oh,
they got two heroes with the Axe too.
That's brutal.
Oh, and they go for the throne. I was about to say, if you don't want to trade Rax if you're Na'Vi. A Rax trade and fall back is a bad trade, but if you get the throne, you get the GG. You've won the game.
Yeah, it's going to be a GG most likely. Afterlife just coming out to delay them, but like you said, he is paper. They immediately refocus the tier 4.
Empire going for the Na'Vi throne, but they're not even close right now. And
no. I hate to say it, that's probably the single most boring base race I've ever seen. And anticlimactic, at least if you're anything but a Na'Vi fan, pretty sure this is the penultimate result you wanted. If you're a fan of the yellow and black as Na'Vi, take Empire, and I really don't, I mean, there's only so much I feel like we can break down right now, man. When you think back on the way it played out, you start looking at the box scores, 4-4-5 on the Morphling, just the hero really didn't get his item